Hello students, and welcome to this video for Word Chapter 3 Capstone Exercise. We're on page 330 in your textbook, page 330. So make sure you get turn there in your textbook so that way you can follow along. The reason I'm making a video for this capstone is I want you to focus on making sure you're getting all the skills used that we're learning and making sure you're doing it right. So at the end of this video, I'm going to try to go through and scroll through the exercise so that way you can see exactly how it's done, because you are going to be graded to a higher level, so to speak, with this capstone project. So the last couple of ones, I've been looking to see, did you get the major portion of it right, and if so, you got 100%. This time it will be points off for each error that you do make. So you want to make sure that you're following the instructions to the best of your ability, and you should be able to do it well because you've been doing all these other exercises with it. So we're going to get started here. I'm going to read the top corner of the textbook here while you finish turning there. Your family owns Baker Home Store, a local home improvement business. As the general manager, you are involved in all facets of the business, from working with suppliers to ensuring customer satisfaction. Often customers are interested in making home improvements to homes that are being sold, and you are currently preparing a brief guide providing tips on improving a house or getting it ready to sell. The basic outline of the document is ready, and you review the document, add a couple informative tables before the item is ready to send to your valued customers. Upon completing your edits, you use mail merge to distribute the document. So we're making a letter here for home improvement. We've got the general idea. First, we're going to create and enhance our tables. You know that information presented in a tabular format is often more easily understood, especially where numeric data is involved. As you review the document draft, you see a couple of places where a table might be useful. You create and format two tables related to home improvement. So first step, step A, you're opening up this file. As you can see, I have it open already. And then I'm going to save it with my last name and first name attached. Ensure that you have the right folder selected for where you're going to save it. I'm going to add your last underscore, your last name, first name, and then save. Step B, move to the end of the document. So I'm going to hold down Control and push End to move to the end of the document here. And then it says convert the text beginning with under $100, so right up here, and going all the way down to update maintenance. So I'm clicking, dragging these 5 rows right here, and I'm going to convert them into a table. So I go to Insert, I choose Table, and I choose Convert Text to Table. You're going to see this information come up. So 4 columns, which is right, 5 rows, and I'm going to click OK. Next thing I'm going to do here, I need to insert a row above row 1. So I'm going to go and I'm going to actually click in row 1 here, and I'm going to click on the Layout tab and choose Insert Above. So a row above row 1, and that says type Home Improvement Tips in the first cell. So Home Improvement Tips, we're on step C by the way of the new one, and merge all cells in the row. So I've just done that. I'm going to click over here to the left to select this whole row. It should look like this right now. We're going to merge the cells together. Then it says bold and center the text in row 1. So I'm going to bold it, center it. Then I'm going to change the font size of the text in row 1 to 18 point. So right now it's 11 point. We're choosing 18 point. And then bold and center the text in row 2. So I'm actually going to go down here, click, and I'm going to bold the text and center it in row 2. So you can see it looks like this at the end of step C. Step D, auto fit the table contents. So I'm going to go to the Layout tab. I'm actually going to choose the whole table like that. So I click the table move handle, auto fit table contents. And you can see it's changed the size of my table. Then it says center the table horizontally on the page. So we're going to be using table properties for this. And I can just click on the button up here, or I could right click on the table and choose it, and I'm choosing center alignment. Center alignment, and click OK, and you've just completed step D. Step E, right here, step E, shade row 1 with blue. So I'm going to select this row 1 right here, design, and it says blue accent 1, lighter 40%. So that's blue gray, This is blue accent 1. And it says lighter 40%. This is 80%, 60, and I'm assuming this is 40. Right here. So blue accent 1, 40%. It says shade row 2. So I'm going to select row 2 with blue accent 1, lighter 80%. So right here, blue accent 1, lighter 80%. Then it says apply a blue accent 1, darker 25%, half point size, double line border around the outside of the table. So we got to make the edits over here first. So for the pen color, it says apply blue accent 1, darker 25%. So it's this one right here. So I click that. I've just chose my pen color. It says it needs to be half point in size, so that is correct. And double line borders. So I'm going to click here on the border style, go to my first double line one. So it's looking like this, and I'm going to choose borders, and it says we need to use it around the outside of the table. So outside borders. And I actually first, let's select, here's our table here, we choose borders, and it says outside borders. There we go. And it's looking like that. So I selected the whole table, outside borders. All right, step F, add a hard return after the first complete sentence at the top of page 2. So it says add a hard return after the first complete sentence at the top of page 2. So right here, this is my first complete sentence. When it says hard return, that means I'm pushing enter. And then it says, let's see here, an energy efficient home is more valuable and is much more marketable in the long run. So we're inserting a 7x6 table. So I click on insert, I choose table, and we're going with 7x6. Remember, the first number is the number of columns you have. Second number is the number of rows you have. I click, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I've got 7 columns. And complete the table as follows. So you're going to type this in. I'm going to type it in as well. If you need to, you can let this play and use your textbook as you type it in, whatever you need to do. Double check and make sure you are typing in everything correctly. So I finished the second row. You'll notice some of them wrap onto the other line. That is completely fine. Okay, I'm on the last row here. Trying to go a little bit slower so I can check this as I go. And it looks like it is correct. So you should have that typed in as part of step F. All right, we're on step G now. So step G, delete the first column, months. So right here, this is our first column. I'm going to go, I can move it up here to the black arrow. I click once, it selects this whole column. Click the layout tab and choose delete column. And then it says insert a row above row 1. So I'm here, row 1, I click insert above, and then it says merge the cells in row 1, and it says to type in here. So I'm going to click in that cell and type in return on investment estimates for household energy efficiency improvements. Do not type the period, it says. Change the table style to grid table 2. So I'm going to go to the design tab. Here's my styles. I'm going to click the more button. It says grid table 2 accent 3. It says row 2 column 4. So let's see if it is. That's grid table 3 accent 3. So grid table 2 accent 3. Right here, it's this one. So I'm going to click on it and I'll open this back up so you can see it. So grid table 3, or excuse me, table 2 accent 3. It's a little different than the textbook. All right, step H, insert a row between rows 5 and 6. So attic insulation, and duct ceiling. So I can move it here to the insert indicator. I click on that. It adds in the row for me. Type the following data in the new row. So I'm going to click in there, type this in. Okay, step I, remove bold formatting from rows 3 through 8 in column 1. So rows 3 through 8 in column 1. So I'm going to go, so I have the 5, oh, excuse me, I need, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, so that's correct. So I'm going to get rid of the bold formatting. So I click on the Home tab, get rid of that. See the normal font there. It says, ensure that the text in rows 1 and 2 is bold. So rows 1 and 2. So really it's just this row I need to ensure it's bold. So I had to click twice to do that. Then center the table horizontally on the page. So I'm just going to right click on the table, choose table properties. I'm going to choose alignment center and then click OK. We've done this a lot. Insert a row after the last row. So I can move down here, click the insert indicator, and choose to insert a row after the last row and type total in the first cell of the new row. So total. In the 5th column on the last row, so I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 right here. So annual savings. Enter a formula to sum the annual savings. So I'm going to put that in. Click on the layout tab here in table tools. I click formula and it says to sum above. That one will work. It says format it as currency, so I can click on number format, choose the $ one here. Yeah, that one right there. Make sure I've got it right. Excuse me. And then I'm going to click OK. And then we can see its format there is currency. And then it says change the annual savings for the high efficiency shower head. So high efficiency shower head, we're changing it to $35, and then update the total down here. So I just right click and choose update field, and it's changed a little bit there. I'm going to save here just out of habit. It doesn't necessarily tell you to do that. Okay, step J, we're almost done here with the first page. Step J, insert a column at the right of cost per unit. So I click here cost per unit, choosing insert right, adding that in. Then it says type estimated cost increase as the new column heading. So up here's my column heading. Or you know what, actually, we're going to say it's probably this one right here. So estimated cost increase. In rows 3 through 8 of the new column, insert a formula that increases the cost per unit by 3%. Cost per unit by 3%. So it's going to increase it. So basically I need to put in a formula that is going to tell it. So it says here the formula should multiply the cost per unit by 0.03 and then add the result back per unit. So for example, the estimated cost increase formula for the high efficiency shower head should be equal sign F3 multiplied by this. I'll type it in here so you can see it. So the book thankfully tells you it because it's a lot to think of when you haven't done this as much yet. And we're going to get more into this when we get into Excel. So basically for this one, we're putting in F3, and then we're putting in the asterisk, and then we're putting in 0.03 plus F3. So this is the formula we need for this one. Remember, it should be formatted as a currency, so I'm going to click on the arrow here. I'm going to choose this one right here. So I'm putting this one in. I'm actually going to copy and paste this for the sake of time with the other ones. Number format, so I click OK. It's going to do that. And that was F3. So for this one, we're going to put in another formula, and this time instead of 3, and I would copy and paste it, you're just going to switch this to 4. So F4 and F4, because it's the 4th row. So column number, they go letters for the columns, numbers for the rows. So F4, change number format as well, just like that. So we're going through, this is columns 3 through 8 that we're doing this. So I click on the next part in the column here, I put a formula, get rid of this one right here, I paste, and instead of F4, I'm putting in F5. So you're just going down the rows, you're putting the currency one, just like that. So I just finished F5. Now I'm going to call row number 6, so I'm doing F6. And I'm putting in the number format. And then F7. Same thing. And then I click OK. And one more. This is F8. So if you need to, go back, watch the first formula I put in, and that'll give you a better idea of how to do this. But that's what you've been doing the whole time. So this is the 3% right here, and then we're adding it to that. So I click OK. And there we go. So it should look like this at the end here with these specific numbers if you typed it in correctly. All right, step K, we're checking for spelling and grammar mistakes. So I push F7 to do that. You can see we've got a few of them that are not as desirable as we would like. We click OK. It's already finished there. We did the first part of step K. Then it says create a caption to be shown below the table. So we're still apparently here on table 1. So let's go to the references tab. And we're not choosing insert citation, we're choosing insert caption. So I click insert caption, and it says it should be shown below the table. I usually decide the position first. So below the table, and then we're going to type in here the following. So I type in colon, and I put return on investment for energy improvements. So for energy improvements, and then I'm going to click OK. And there we go, it's inserted it below for me, just like how I want it. All right, step L, modify the caption style to include. So I need to go to Home tab. I need to choose, I'm just going to click the More arrow and do it from here. So these are my styles here. I'm right-clicking on caption, choosing Modify. It says it needs to include centered text. So centered, it needs to be blue accent 1. So blue accent 1, darker 50%. So it's this one right here. And I skipped past it, but we do need, so we have centered, we have the color, and then it needs to be bold and italicized. And then I'm going to click OK. It's changed my style for me, and then I can save the document. So that's the first page here of the Capstone exercise. We're almost done. The next part is the mail merge, which should go a whole lot quicker. So it says you prepare a letter to current customers thanking them for their business and including the collection of home improvement tips. You use mail merge to create personalized letters. So we're on step M of page 331. Move to the top of the document. I hold down Control and push Home to do that. Then it says insert a page break. So I could do Control and Enter, otherwise I can click the Insert button and do page break that way. Then it says place insertion point at the top of your new page. So I scroll back up here, I'm going to click about right there to put the insertion point there. Insert text from W3C1 thanks. So I'm already in the Insert tab. I'm going over to Text, Object Arrow. I click on that text from File. I'm going to go to the Downloads folder because that's where I have saved it. And then I'm going to choose W03C1 thanks. I'm going to insert that text. You can see it's put that letter in here for us. Now it says show non-printing characters if they're not already displayed. So we haven't had them displayed, but I'm going to now. So Home tab, Paragraph group, non-printing characters. Alright, now it says conduct a mail merge. So we've got to do that. We're going to References, Mailings tab. So Mailings tab, we're going to start the mail merge using the step-by-step mail merge wizard. You notice we've used that every time. That's a very useful tool for you. Okay, it says using sheet 1 of W03 customers. So what we're going to do here is we're going to select, we've got letters, we know there are letters. Starting the document, we're using the current document. So we click next twice basically to get to step 3. Use an existing list. And we're going to do browse, and then we're going to go to their downloads folder where we have it saved, and I'm going to scroll down to W03, and it says I'm choosing C1 customers. So it's this file right here, W03C1 customers. If you already downloaded it and it's not displaying, make sure it shows all data sources so it comes up. I'm going to click open. Notice it's now sheet 1. We're going to click OK. We're accepting that information. And then it says filter the data source, so we're going to filter it. So right here the word filter, keyword, so that only records with a zip of 65757 are included. So I have my filter record, so I'm going to click field, and I'm going to choose zip, and that's going to say equal to, we're going to leave it as that. So a comparison is equal to, and we're going to put down 65757. So, and I'm going to click OK after that. So zip equal to 65757. It has and, but we're just going to click OK. And you'll notice only 2 of them come up with that specific zip code, so that's good. Alright, it says here, insert an address block below the date. So I click OK because we're done with the filtering part. Step O we're on now. Insert an address block below the date. So right here, the date, I have this empty spot here. So let me scroll up a little bit. So address block below the date using default settings. So now I'm going to click the next part, write your letter, and I'm choosing address block. And it says default settings, so that means we're just clicking OK after we click address block. So it's in there now, which is good. Following the space after the word dear, so immediately before the colon, so I'm actually clicking right here in between the space and the colon. It says insert the title, so more items over here. We're choosing title. Click insert, and then it says followed by space, so I click close, I push a space, so title, space, and then it says last name. So more items, we're choosing last name, it's already selected there. Insert, I can click close. So title, last name, space, last name. Include your name in the closing instead of student name. So down here it says student name. I'm going to select this because we're going to get rid of it here, and it says include your name in the closing instead. So I'm going to now type in mine, so I'm going to put down Mr. Rogers. You put your first and last name. I'm going to save it, and then it says preview the letters and adjust spacing of the letter of the address so that it displays as a single space unit with no paragraph spacing. So I'm actually going to do this. Before we get started with it, I'm going to select address block, go to home, choose spacing here, and make sure it's single spacing. Okay, so let's click next, preview your letter, and you can see actually, oh, this is where we need to do it. I did it a little bit early. So make sure you have the address selected and then change it to single spacing. So you have to do it here. And also, besides the single spacing part, we do need to choose layout tab, get rid of the after spacing. And also the before spacing as well. So it looks like that. So you got rid of, so I'm on the layout tab, zeros for before and after spacing. So it looks like this. And then step P, we're almost done. Complete the merge of all records producing a document containing 2 letters, 4 pages each. So I do next, complete the merge. I'm choosing edit individual letters. I'm clicking OK for all. It's giving me a new file. Let's check over that. And you can see it should be 2 letters or 2 pages for each one here. Or excuse me, 4 pages each. So that looks right because we got 8 total, and it looks like that. Then it says save the merged document, so it's this one right here. You can see I'm scrolling through it, so that way you can double check. If you need to rewind the video, so to speak, go back a little bit, check and look and see. And then I'm going to save this here in the appropriate spot. Make sure you choose the right folder. And I'm saving it with the name W3C1 home merge your last name and first name. So W03C1 home merge last name first name. You're going to click to save it. It says save and close the other file, and based on your instructions, submit this file. So this is the one you're going to submit to me. I just went through the video. It was at a decently fast speed, so you may need to rewind and look, but you're submitting to me this file the way you've been told how to do for class for this exercise. So I would go through, watch it, make sure, or at least that last little bit where I just scrolled through things pretty quickly, make sure it looks right, and then make sure to submit this. So good job following along, and that again is how to complete Word Chapter 3 Capstone Exercise.